me, quite frankly, are attacks on science, because all of the things that I have spoken about consistently from the very beginning have been fundamentally based on science. Sometimes those things were inconvenient truths for people, and there was pushback against me. So if you are trying to, get at me as a public health official and a scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science. And anybody that looks at what's going on clearly sees that. You have to be asleep not to see that. That is what's going on. Science and the truth are being attacked.
Wow. Remember, you attack the Radowski, you attack all of Poland, all of YouTube, all of journalism. Why? Because I said so. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. Lots of very serious, scary news to get into, especially with inflation, which the IMF is saying is good, as it looks like there's a global financial reckoning that, of course, we've been warning about for over a year now on this specific channel. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more in great detail. But when the conversation in this country is dominated by self-centered, self-important, egomaniac narcissists like Dr. Fauci, you know that this country is in trouble. The same Dr. Fauci that, of course, routinely lied and flip-flopped on major, severe issues when it comes to the sickness, which, according to many medical professionals, he has a hand in creating. And now the evidence is becoming more and more overwhelming, showing the massive amounts of lies that Dr. Fauci has told this country, with now another breaking story highlighting how Dr. Fauci headlined a conference with the infamous Bat Lady and, of course, Peter Daszak that are directly implicated here on doing the very dangerous gain-of-function research, which Dr. Fauci was telling everyone was not happening. This, of course, is Dr. Fauci was telling you that all of this happened because someone in Wuhan decided to put a bat in their mouth, and because of that, we had to lock everyone down, which, according to Stanford University professor of medicine Jay Bhattacharya, is, quote, the most catastrophic event of all human history, saying specifically, quote, every single poor person on the face of this earth has faced some harm, sometimes catastrophic harm, from this lockdown policy. A policy implicated by lying Dr. Fauci, who helped facilitate a huge amount of money to Bat Lady, Peter Daszak, and the Wuhan laboratory where they were doing dangerous gain-of-function research, which many experts say was responsible for the global spread of the sickness. Coming from, of course, China, which has very lax protocols and regulations, and, a history of lab leaks. Now, the narcissistic egomaniacs, I would say psychopaths in my opinion, usually do congregate in positions of power. That's why Washington, D.C. has been ranked the #1 place per capita of psychopaths in this country, and if you start to view things from that perspective, a lot of things make sense. There's a border crisis, a financial crisis, a health crisis. Well, have a cookie that looks exactly like me, as of course Kamala Harris, during all these controversies, during all these issues, has decided to focus on and spend her time giving out cookies that resemble her on Air Force Two to journalists. It's very interesting to understand her record of product placements, especially her books being found at migrant detention facilities, which her administration have handled absolutely horribly. And as she's facing some tough questions, some criticism, especially in Guatemala, where protesters held a sign saying Kamala, Trump won, well, at least the journalists are going to be preoccupied with cookies if they're not just busy fully shilling for, of course, the vice president, as we have an absolutely disgusting video of a supposed journalist fawning all over the vice president with what looks like carefully curated words boosting support for the embattled vice president that now is on a border tour that refuses to go to the border. And because journalists sell their soul to the highest bidder, have no backbone, and are the biggest bootlickers of the establishment, this is why we can't have nice things, and your support for independent media is more crucial than ever. And one very easy way to support us is by just checking out some of the products and companies that we work with. One of them is safepreparedandready.com, where you could get your own emergency food supply that will last you for over 25 years. They have really good ingredients. I like this company. I've been personally using them for a long time, for a number of years now. I like them for hiking trips and also having some peace of mind, knowing that whatever happens, I'll be fine. And if you're interested in them, click the link down in the description below and go to safepreparedandready.com to see what we have to offer you. Now, if you remember, for a very long time, we've been kind of trying to at least make sense of our financial economic situation, which is an absolute cluster. Can't curse here, family-friendly show. But as you know, we've been telling you, financially, things are going to get very difficult. We've been telling you this from the onset of the sickness last year, because you didn't need a genius to figure out that locking down the country was going to have some severe economic effects. Lockdowns, which many scientists, researchers are finding out, had absolutely no effect on the official numbers. The major effect of the lockdowns are huge economic ramifications, which of course we've been telling you are going to be happening later down the line. We already are feeling some of the rumbling effects of the lockdowns, and there obviously is going to be more of them, as Deutsche Bank even issued a dire economic warning for the United States. And what did you think was going to happen when you destroy small and middle class businesses, only allowing the billionaires to be able to open their businesses? And according to Deutsche Bank, the U.S. economy is undergoing its, quote, biggest shift in direction in 40 years, saying, quote, in turn, we're concerned that it will bring about uncomfortable levels of inflation going on, and the Hill writes, that could be deemed an understatement, considering that the U.S. economy is already experiencing uncomfortable inflation. And many Americans have been feeling this in their pocketbook. As we're learning today, officially, consumer prices have gone up 5% in May, the fastest since the summer of 2008, after, of course, the financial market crash, which the banks were rewarded for creating, as they were given bailouts and never held responsible for the financial chaos that they created. They profited off the chaos, and they profited off of creating the chaos with bailouts, and now there's going to be more financial turbulence. Now, these are the official numbers. 5%, I would say, is even low compared to the price of some commodities that have been going up drastically. And people need to understand that this is most likely just the beginning, since the government's response to all of this is, hey, let's print more money and spend more money that we don't even have. And that is absolutely ridiculous and utterly insane. Whenever the government tried to get involved, even when it came to giving people benefits, it completely made the situation that much worse, with now many Americans not wanting to work, since of course they make more money through benefits than even having to get off of their butts to do work. And now with this larger economic uncertainty, the government still is responding to all of this by saying, yeah, let's spend more money on benefits, which again is just another word for mafioso payoffs after stealing money from the hard-working man that is finding the cost of living going dramatically up, as with the massive printing of money being a direct tax on people's savings. If you're able to somehow make some money for yourself to live and survive, the government taking that money is so extensive that it's even difficult to understand how people could survive with the government taxing, regulating, and taking away their money through so many different avenues and ways. And now, with horrible financial policies, the United States is not just taking away people's money by taxing them, but by essentially breaking the financial system and economy through its direct intervention, which is causing bacon to go up almost 20%. Bananas, bread, coffee, milk, oranges, all of those have seen single-digit percentages increases in their prices. Gasoline up 56%. And for the person barely making it by, which is the majority of Americans who are in credit card debt, indentured to the larger financial institutions that are creating these policies, screwing them over, how are they supposed to survive? How are they supposed to get by with this larger theft and robbery happening right in front of them? And that's what people need to understand. What's happening right now is not a freak result. It's not an accident. It's not natural cycles of the market. It is you being robbed blind by the globalist corporatist banking establishment that is screwing you over and taking your money away without the majority of the world even realizing that this is happening right now. This is how they do it. This is the theft happening right now, and it's only going to get more severe, especially with the larger supply chain shortages that are also affecting the economy, where even Starbucks announced that it's going to be getting rid of a lot of its product because of ingredients shortages. Shortages with cups, shortages with raw materials, all of that, along with food import costs surging 12% on the year. You are absolutely being screwed, and you need to be made aware of that as soon as possible, because even though the government's promising more benefits to you, I need people to understand most of the money that they take away from you through taxes, through regulations and laws and penalties and fines, most of that goes towards private horrible industries like the military industrial complex that literally spend $52 billion spying and surveilling American citizens. Yes, $52 billion is being spent right now to spy on you and for government agents to get your private wiener pictures. Now, that's where the majority of the money is, the pharma industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complexes. But don't worry, there's also stupid projects that the government is wasting your money on, just like in New York City, the rat-infested crackhead hellhole with spiking stabbings and shootings that now is deciding to allow people to vote for their favorite toppings on pizza. Yes, they're literally treating you like kindergarten children right now, taking your money, and the bozo the clown, mayor of New York City, is literally wasting everyone's time on voting on people's best pizza topping. And as all of this is happening, we are seeing the PR industry of these banking corporate elite being turned on as the IMF just ruled that inflation is good.
This leads to less demand for chairs, less production of chairs, and businesses needing fewer jobs making the chairs. So, that's why countries try to pick a target of low and stable inflation, which is good for the entire economy, and good for me too, because now I can afford a really nice chair.
What in the freaking world are these absolute criminal mafioso con men talking about? And as the dollar keeps inflating and you keep losing the value of your money, other countries are deciding to be more innovative and creative during these difficult times, like the government of El Salvador that literally just started to mine Bitcoin with energy from their volcanoes. No, I'm not kidding you. You're looking right now at a plant that is taking energy from volcanoes, from geothermal energy coming from the ground, and using that to mine Bitcoin in a clean, renewable way, which is absolutely amazing and goes directly against the propaganda by many of the media establishment elites, including Elizabeth Warren, that are trying to attack Bitcoin because of, quote, the need to fight the climate crisis. And according to Elizabeth Warren, Bitcoin is environmentally wasteful. Wait till this knucklehead finds out about the military-industrial complex and how much the U.S. military uses with their, quote, carbon emissions. But again, this tool of the establishment but this loon is not fully attacking that. She is fully attacking people's ability to be financially free from the big banks. And that's why El Salvador's move recently was huge, as now Bitcoin is an official currency of El Salvador. Supermarkets will now display prices in Bitcoin and in dollars, and this is why the IMF that tells you inflation is good for you, with everything happening right now, is also trying to go after El Salvador and attack them because of this larger move, with them seeking their own monetary independence. Yes, there's a big attack on El Salvador by the old money institutions like the IMF, like the World Bank, who have previously used economic hitmen to wield their way in third world countries in order to benefit the multinational corporations in the most unspeakable, unethical ways. Will they be successful here? Well, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this story. If you are someone who's interested in going to El Salvador or starting a business there, definitely give us an email. We might be interested in working or promoting you, specifically at info@wearechange.org. We're also hearing El Salvador is becoming a lot safer than most cities in the United States, which is extremely fascinating since it's previously been known as the capital for MS-13, but things seem to be dramatically changing in that country for the better, and who knows, maybe you'll see my on-the-ground reporting there sometime soon. But with their major crypto move, as we wait to see how it plays out with pressure from the IMF, it's also important to note here that other countries like India are starting to see cryptocurrencies in a totally different light than they did before, as India may soon classify Bitcoin as an asset class, which would be a huge, major move that is definitely going to be worth noting and looking at. Now, whatever might be the future of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, it definitely seems like it's emerging as more and more of a threat against the institutions, the old banking elite that are absolutely not thrilled with it. And that's why it's very curious seeing all these latest attacks by Elizabeth Warren, by the mainstream media, by Elon Musk, by other billionaires, by, of course, JP Morgan, by all these other larger institutions that, in my opinion, could be trying to get the price of it down so they could buy more of it. Whether Bitcoin's a honeypot or not, that's a whole nother larger discussion. I discussed it before, but usually when you see something so attacked, that usually proves its authenticity. But hey, who knows? What do you think of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Let me know down in the comment section below. I always appreciate the conversation. In today's Luke Uncensored video, we will be talking about aliens. Aliens are coming. They soon will be here, and it's most likely going to be a big, larger government psyop. I'm going to be talking about that, LukeUncensored.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys double-clicking, sharing this video, getting it out there to your friends, family members. Even if you have no one to send it to, scroll down one of your messaging systems or applications and just randomly send it to someone. Let me know what they say also down in the comment section below in response to this. I appreciate you guys. You've been tagged. Tag the next person. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.